I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soared into the light. I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
To touch the light, adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
As I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight.
Beyond ATC
as
connected.
I soared into the light. to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light.
Hello everyone and welcome to the glide slope for another flight. And today I must apologize first of all because I got a little late into the live stream. I was finishing some other stuff here and things just got out of control in terms of time management. Hello Andrew, hello Trexie. So today's flight is going to take us from Bordeaux in France to Corfu, the island of Corfu, and to the airport of Ajaccio. I don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe I'm butchering it, I'm sorry. But this is going to be a flight with our beloved Contrail Falcon FA-50. This is of course, an aircraft developed by Dassault, and it's more than fitting that we are now right next to the Dassault factory. Let me put it outside so I can show you. So, yeah, this is the remote area for the Dassault factory. Usually there are parked planes. There's one. There's a Falcon up there, probably a Falcon 7X, more modern Falcon. When you fly out of Bordeaux, you eventually fly from runway 23, which is right there. You can see the Papia lights down in the horizon right there. And that's exactly where when you taxi to that runway, you'll see these planes parked here, all brand new planes. There are more planes on the other side here that cannot see right now, but we will see. And this is where we'll be departing today. First of all, let me change the layout, because right now it's the layout is there's a layout, and let's remove the logo here. So this is a remnant from last flight that I needed to remove the flight following layout, but here we are. And yeah, you will notice something very cool about this is that we have the PMDG logo right here. Sorry, oh sorry, something happened here. Stand by. And sorry, I was handling something here. You can see here that I have the PMDG logo and the PMDG logo up there. So this is a real life livery for this aircraft. There is a Falcon 50 that's piloted by the PMDG owner. So this is a kind of a nod from Contrail to the PMDG guys, and you know, good relationships result in this. This is a very cool livery, by the way. Not just because it has the PMDG logos. You might say, well, but these are competitors. Well, not quite. PMDG builds Boeing aircraft, commercial airliners. Contrail, this is their first aircraft, so they're building a business jet, a very nice business jet. So there's no real competition here, but yeah, there are different companies. This is like a nod to PMDG, and it's really cool to see that companies actually do get along and they can do this stuff. Yes, this is a real life plane, but I bet Contrail asked the guys at PMDG if it was okay, if they could use the livery. So, and they did. I'm not seeing any other way. I'm not saying that I will never think that they did this and not let PMDG know about it. So really cool to see. And yes, we're going to fly a PMDG aircraft because this plane does exist in real life. They do have a Falcon 50 with the PMDG colors, but it's going to be a Contrail plane. So first things first, let's remove all these protections here. Make sure that our little, this is, by the way, the torque link in order to get that nose wheel steering working. So we're going around checking everything. I usually don't do walkarounds, but we do need to do that for this plane. So I think the parking brakes are not engaged, so I'm not going to. We can see that from the outside, by the way. There's a way to see it. I'll show you now. So let's just open the doors for the cargo here. Get on the other side. And the way to see from the outside if the parking brakes are engaged is right there. So the brakes are off. It's okay to tow. So if I was to remove those chocks now, the plane will start rolling if there is, of course, a slope. So let's not do that for now. Let's just open the main door. Now let's go inside. Alright, welcome to the flight deck. I can remove that. And let's get on with it right now. So first things first, let's turn on the batteries. Just verifying everything is switched down. Yes and yes. So batteries first. We're going to set this as is so that the batteries are the bus tie is set. Radio masters, and we can turn on the AC1 and AC2 so we can have power to the E phase, but let's not turn it on right now. Let's go here, start our APU. We are going to wait, there it is, until that red button lights up. We are sitting in Betsy's lap right now. It's all good, she doesn't mind. She's a good sport. So we're seeing the RPM come up, and now we have gen load. It's supposed to stabilize at 7.5 or close to that, so that's what we want. And sorry, bleed air is on, so now we have air conditioning as well. The AGT will jump a little bit, so this is the gas temperature. Of course, we're getting more out of the APU. It's going to heat up a little bit. Let's remove the yoke for now. So now that we have the plane powered by the the ground power unit, or sorry, the auxiliary power unit, we can now start turning everything on, including our
runway awareness. Okay.
FMS.
Meters.
We're only going to use the left FMS for today. Now let's get this to line INS. 2 on board. Just wait for the self-test to conclude. We can also turn on our NX20. Yes. Also engage our standby ADI. Just hold until it stabilizes. Start shaking and stabilizing. I think we can also turn on the nav lights to indicate that we are energized, and also mark the emergency lights as is. Let's get some light into the instruments, although we're still in daylight. We will get into the night during this flight. It's not a long flight. It's about 1 hour and 40 minutes or something. So it's not a long flight for today, but still. Alright, let's initialize the flight plan. So initialization is complete. This is our flight plan from Simbrief. We are going to select it and enter. There it is, out of Bordeaux all the way down to Ajaccio. Select. There it is. Now we just need to depart information. So we are going to contact Bordeaux ground, get our clearance.
Executive Papa Mike 50, request IFR clearance to Campo del Oro.
Campo del Oro is the...
Executive Papa Mike 50, Marinette ground information Alpha current cleared to Campo del Oro via oblong 6 Papa departure, runway 23, climb BSA to 5,000 feet, squawk 1000.
Cleared to Campo del Oro via oblong 6 Papa departure, runway 23, climb BSA to 5,000 feet, squawk 1000, Executive Papa Mike 50.
Executive Papa Mike 50, read back correct. Call me back when ready for start or taxi.
Roger that, Executive Papa Mike 50.
This squawk, it's the second time I've been doing a few flights testing stuff. It's the second time the ATC gives me this squawk. This is not a very good look for ATC. It looks like squawk assignment is messed up again. So we are going via Oblo 6 Papa. Looks good. Select, enter. There we go. So flight plan is loaded. We just imported it from Simbrief. Let's get our electronic flight bank up here. And so there it is, Contrail. Let's get our charts loaded for Bordeaux. So we are going for 1823, so it's going to be a very short taxi, which is good. So let's hide this. Actually, it's unloaded. This is another flight I have. So let's go to flights. Let's unload this one. Port. It's from Simbrief. This is one. There we go. So this is our flight to Corfu, and you can see this is a very short flight. Runway 23 and the envelope 6 Papa, it's already pre-selected. Just need the charts now. And we're going to set our sights to opposite. I'm searching for the envelope 6. Is it 6 Papa? Yep, 6 Papa. I'm always having second guesses. Right, this is the one we haven't been already. I'm just gonna set it up as a layer. Flight plan right here. So this is what we are going to do on the magenta line here, and going all the way to oblong and carry on with the task of flying this way. As for the taxi, it's no big deal, but let's still load the taxi chart here just in case. Yeah, and as you can see, there's a magenta triangle. I finally set it up to have flight following, although it's not really relevant, but you know, for your viewing pleasure. Hello, Michelle. Welcome, my good friend. Welcome. Nice to see you. You can see here on the chart that we are standing on the remote stand. This is the Dassault complex, and there's also an Airbus complex here. And then on the other side, this is, I believe, a military apron, or is it? No, this is the military apron, sorry. And this is the main terminal, so for when you fly to Toulouse. So you see here, when you taxi out for runway 23, when your plane's holding here, this is, and when it lines up for runway 23, which is the most active used runway on this airport, you will see this whole complex here with there are usually Airbuses here and some other commercial companies, and there's also the big Dassault complex there. All right, so now we got INSs in line, everything looks fine and peachy. So now we're going to set up everything else. So let me just go through here, see if I'm not. Just go back to the flight plan. There it is. are still in pounds. I really wish that Contrail could change this, but unfortunately they haven't yet. So we're still dealing with the metric system, well, the imperial system. There's still no option to change that. Yeah, looks like we're still stuck with imperial for now. Yeah, looks like it. Oh well. Let's download all the weights. So we got 65 kilograms of baggage, at least in this part is in kilograms. And passenger weighs 91 kilograms. That's a very overweight passenger, but alright, no biggie. So let's tell GSX. Oh, okay, let's set those parking brakes then. Parking brakes are set. Right, stand up. Hold your horses. Alright, so it's the GSX simply doesn't believe we are in the gate right now, probably because it's not identified. So we'll just reposition here. Don't do this when the plane's loading INS or you'll get in trouble. Yeah, see, it still doesn't give me any options. It doesn't matter. We can taxi out. No need to backtrack. Or we'll just not have any animations. That's fine, I guess. GSX is a little eclectic, but when it comes to business jets, it's just you need to improvise sometimes. That's exactly what we're doing. All right, looks like we got everything. We'll just request permission to start up.
Executive Papa Mike 50, Ram Hotel 3, request engine start.
Executive Papa Mike 50, startup approved, call when ready for taxi.
Wilco startup approved, Executive Papa Mike 50.
Clear the outside for that, so let's close the baggage compartment. Main door. Let's leave the chocks for now. Although, no, we got the parking brakes set already. Right, main door is closed. We're good. Yeah, we're good to go. So, we'll just set this on standby for now. You can also set up nav and climb mode, but we'll get onto that in a moment. Alright, let's start our engines. So, in order to start the engines, we'll set this to non-flight for now. Oh no, we need that for the batteries. We just need to instead turn on the transfer pumps. Anti-collision to red, and let's go and start number. No, let's get this to start. Let's start number 2. Just on auto. 20%. Start number 2, and there it goes. We are supposed to do that at 10 to 12%, so a little hot on that startup there. So get our QNH 1017. Set. 7. Set. Number 2 started and stabilized. Let's start number 3. Start 3. So if you guys remember, there are these red switches down here are the fuel cutoff. So when you click and raise, you go to idle. And that's what we are doing, is injecting fuel actually. Number 3 is stable. Let's start number 1 now. 10% on N1. So I'm looking at the gauge, this gauge here. very quiet plane for its age. Alright, we're good to go. We can start. Wait for it to cool. Stop our APU. Wait for it to cool down. So I'm going to assume the fuel weights and all that. I usually don't have problems with that. But it is in pounds, so I need to convert these. So QNH should be 2003 or 3003. Yeah, okay. Alright, looks like we got all 4 engines. Oh, sorry, 3 engines running. We can switch off the APU master. Now we're going to switch this to flight mode. And we're ready to taxi. So let's just turn on the wing lights. Looks good and peachy. Let's turn on the transfer pumps. Looks good. Looks good and awesome. Let's get our yoke back. Oops, there it is. Set up our go around mode. There it is. And for now, we'll leave it at that. Alright, let's go in. Let's leave the pitot. Oh, we need to turn on the reactor. That's cool. Just leave the pitos on for now.
Executive Papa Mike 50, ready to taxi to the active.
That's your voice.
Papa Mike 50,
Sounds so
taxi via
different.
uniform 1, hold short of runway 23.
Taxi via uniform 1, hold short of runway 23, Executive
Set
Papa Mike
our
50.
Flaps for takeoff. Turn on taxi lights. And let's get moving to runway 23. Parking brake off. Let's go. As we roll out, we're going to set our ET time. Loading. You can see there are no markings on the ground. So the warning is to set the gross weight here, as well as reset the fuel expenditure, but it's okay. We don't need to do that. Alright, look at this fine plane here at the Dassault factory. So it's like we come here and we just did an overhaul and came here for some nice refurbishment, and the plane's ready to roll. Let's get on to the taxi winches. There it is, Dassault Aviation. So you see how the factory is huge, and usually there's a lot of planes on here. And we got a closed gate. I don't know why this happens in some sceneries why they close the gates. But close your eyes, pretend there's nothing there. This way. With the sunlight, this looks green, doesn't it? It's not green, it's supposed to be dark blue. Pleasure. It's beachy. Let's get back to our charts here. Look at our little plane taxiing down the taxiway. Nice. Flaps are set. We're going to set our takeoff trim as well. There it is. As long as it's in the green, I like to put a click down on the green there.
Executive Papa Mike 50, via uniform cross runway 23, taxi to holding point Alpha, runway 23, via uniform 1 uniform Alpha.
Yeah, Yeah, this
via
is
uniform
above.
cross runway 23, taxi to holding point Alpha, runway 23, via uniform 1, uniform Alpha, exit Papa Mike 50.
Because
Topswell 63 with takeoff, taxi to stand Alpha 11 via Charlie Papa Sierra 3
Because
Papa 4
Bionic
Sierra
TC
3 with
doesn't-
T cross runway 11. Taxi to stand Alpha 11 via Charlie Papa Sierra 3 Papa 4 Sierra 3 with T cross runway 11 Topswell 63 with T Golf.
on the volumes. Because Bionic TC doesn't recognize the taxiway we're just in, it's telling me to cross the runway to the other side, which doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move forward a little bit, allow it to rethink its life, and it will eventually hand me over to the tower. And then we can press takeoff. Slowly. Press them off.
Approaching 2-3.
Papa Mike 50. Contact Marignac Tower 118.3.
Contact Tower 118.3, exit Papa Mike 50.
Alright, now we can request takeoff.
Exit Papa Mike 50, ready for departure, runway 23.
Exit Papa Mike 50 Marignac Tower, wind 250 degrees, 15 knots, runway 23, cleared for takeoff, traffic 7 mile final, no delay.
Runway 23, clear for takeoff, no delay, exit Papa Mike 50.
Traffic's on fire. There we go.
On runway 23.
Rolling. Check. Check. Rotate. Positive rate. Clear. Nice. Smooth takeoff. A little bumpy on the side, probably some crosswind. Nothing we can't handle.
Air Algerie 1190, wind 250 degrees, 15 knots, runway 23 cleared to land. Runway 23 cleared to land, Air Algerie 1190. Exit Papa Mike 50, contact Aquitaine departure 119.275.
Contact Aquitaine departure 119.275, exit Papa Mike 50. Aquitaine departure, exit Papa Mike 50. Good evening, passing 2,600 feet, climbing to 5,000 feet.
Exit Papa Mike 50, Aquitaine departure, good evening, identified, climb flight level 160.
Climb flight level 160, exit Papa Mike 50.
Right, is it following the flight plan? Looks like it. It's just not turning. So let's on ramp mode again. And no, sorry, no, let's turn.
All aircraft be advised, information Bravo now current QNH1017.
So we are reaching our top of climb here, but we need to continue climbing. up again. Flight level 160. Not sure. So the reason why it wasn't tracking was because I didn't select FMS as source, but I am going to do that now. We are exceeding our nav takeoff. It's just doing its own thing right now. I'm not sure what's going on. Thrust. Let's get to our pins here. So you see we're very off now. We are turning back in, but can't seem to get the nav mode arm. And we're also not climbing, so let's get back to climb mode. There we are, I think we now captured nav mode. Airplane's a little dizzy here, but it is capturing something. We'll be on track, although a little off. Hey, ATC is not giving us a hard time, so the transition altitude here is flight level 050. We're past that, so let's get to
Altimeter setting.
I'm doing that. Let's get to standard altitude here.
Altimeter setting.
It is set. Is below the map, that's why we're not seeing it. Also forgot to turn on the radar. Almost reaching the end of the SID anyway, so
Exit Papa Mike 50, contact Bordeaux Control 125.3.
Center on 125.3, exit Papa Mike 50.
nice voice, Betsy.
Viewing 37 Foxtrot Quebec, Bordeaux Control identified.
Very sexy
Air
voice.
France 7496, contact Bordeaux Control 121.25, bye-bye. Contact Bordeaux Control 121.25, Air France 7496. Have a good evening. Air France 67 Hotel Juliet, contact Pirates information, approach 119.175. Contact Pirates information, approach 119.175, Air France 67 Hotel Juliet.
Bordeaux Control, exit Papa Mike 50, passing flight level 135, climbing to flight level 160, direct block.
Exit Papa Mike 50, Bordeaux Control, identified, climb flight level 330.
Climb flight level 330, exit Papa Mike 50.
Transavia 86 Quebec, contact Bordeaux Control 130.9. Center on 130.9, Transavia 86 Quebec, good day.
So this plane...
37 Foxtrot Quebec, cleared Mapax 3 Quebec, arrival runway 30. Cleared Mapax 3 Quebec, arrival runway 30.
So this plane has very basic climb modes, basically two. This is the standard climb mode. Below 10,000 feet it will set your speed to 250 knots. Above 10,000 it will set to 260 knots. But if you press it again, you will get to 300 H. H means high speed, so it will accelerate to 300 knots and continue the climb. It's supposedly a faster climb rate, but at the end of the day, it's only giving you 40 knots more. But yeah, I'll take it. So there's a little bird back.
Border control, easy 49 Delta Alpha, passing flight level 119 and descending to flight level 080. Easy 49 Delta Alpha.
Drexy, I'm doing fine, and you? How are you, Drexy? How are you doing today? You guys see my around the world announcement? You guys saw that? I'm planning to make an around the world trip. Now, it's not going to be for the next few weeks, a couple of weeks, because I need to plan it very carefully. I need to plan the destinations, and I need to plan the aircraft I'm using. Of course, if you want to choose one airplane to do it, things will get rough because of range or because of size. So let's imagine you pick I don't know, an A340 for a flight. You have to realize that the A340 is a huge aircraft. It may not be able to land in a small airfield. However, if you pick, let's say, the Citation Sovereign Plus, it has a good range, but unfortunately it's not that big of a range, so there's some destinations you just can't reach. And if you pick a plane like, I don't know, maybe the Airbus A321neo, you're going to have to stick with it. So my preference would be to select a group of airplanes, a selection of planes that I got, and work with those that I enjoy the most. For example, I would like to make a flight with the Fokker 100 at any point. I also would like to use airplanes that I don't use that much, so probably the MD-11 as well. So it's fairly easy to insert one of those planes on each leg, but I can't just make like 4-hour legs. It would be impossible for live streaming. So because of that, it needs a lot of planning, and I'm planning it, I don't know, probably in August. I'm going to start flying in August, but we'll see. It all depends on what comes out as well. I'm waiting for a few updates on certain aircraft. If those happen, then I'll be sure to include them. If they don't happen, then I'll skip and move to the next plane. And maybe I'll include this beautiful Falcon 50 on the roll. Alright, so we're past this SID, the SID. We are going now back. To the flights. So, and we are going back to the map. Back to the map. Hello. Oh, we are on the map. It's just the chart here just confused me for now. Alright, so. Whoa. What just happened? Alright, here we are. I don't know what this little plus there is, but look at this. So we are using telemetry. I'm going to center on my plane if I can. Here we going to zoom out. So as you can see, it's not a very long flight. There it is. So it's not a long flight. The only thing that the Navigraph charts in the FB within Flight Simulator, the only thing it doesn't do is give you weather. There's when you use the standalone app on the tablet or your phone, you get the weather radar, which is very handy when you're going through weather. Yeah, the around the world trip is something I wanted to do for a long time. Initially, I would like to have to do the route flying through all the former Portuguese colonies. So I would fly to South India. Out of here, I would fly to South India, where there was a Portuguese colony there. Then I would fly to Macau. Maybe Indonesia, not Indonesia, Timor, East Timor, then Macau, then fly all the way to Taiwan. Taipei used to be a Portuguese colony as well. And then there's a problem. Where would I go from there? Because, you know, I could either go back through Africa, Mozambique, Angola, Guinea. That would be a possibility, but there's no way to go to around the world doing that. So it need to be like a C turn, like a big inverted C, back to Africa, and then from Africa to Brazil. And Brazil, I could go to, so I would go to Mozambique, Angola, Guinea, probably Brazil, and then to São Tomé and Príncipe, and then go back to Portugal. But that's not around the world. That's just the other way I could do it is go the other way. So I would go from Lisbon to Brazil, and from Brazil I would need to make like a huge turn for the Pacific, all the way to Taipei or Macau or whatever. That's a huge flight. So because of that, and because I wanted to make short legs as short as possible, I'm planning to go through Central Europe, descend to the Middle East, fly over from the Middle East to Asia, then from Asia climb as much as I can, probably to Japan, Tokyo, and then out of Tokyo there's only one way to fly, and that's probably Hawaii, then Hawaii to the West Coast, United States West Coast, and from the West Coast come down towards Brazil, so flying through Mexico, and through Brazil, and once in Brazil, then I can depart towards Africa, and from Africa back to Portugal. That's my current plan. Things changed since I started planning, and I believe things will continue to change as I go on, because, you know, now I have to choose what plane I will use for each leg. I don't want to stick with one plane. You guys certainly don't want to see me flying the same plane over and over. So that's where I'm at right now, planning the plane side of things. You know, what planes should I use, and what type of what duration of flights. You know, there are some planes that you can jump ahead, like the Airbus A340-600 or the A321neo. The first from Tolis, the second from FS Labs. They both do the jump ahead feature. But again, the size. The A340-600 is a very specific plane. I can't just stick it anywhere. There are airports where you just can't fly it to because you cannot leave the runway, or you can enter the runway. such a big aircraft. My idea is I may try to use the A340 as best as I can, but it's not going to be the single plane that I'll be using. As for the A321, yeah, maybe. It is a simple plane to fly. I love flying Airbuses, as you know. But all of this needs planning, so I just posted a teaser because I feel confident now that I can do it. But it's going to take some time until I can finally announce the routes and the plan, overall plan. Of course, I need to make things, plan things to make this in due time. I don't want to take like months to do this. All of this weighs in my decision what to do and where to go. I'm open to suggestions. Everybody have any suggestions of a route? Let me know. Maybe you guys can help me decide some stuff. So we're not going to leave France at all. We're still in mainland France, though. France. It looks like not much farther than we should. Farther in the flight, but we're halfway through France and we're still not reaching the halfway point of the entire flight. This is the electronic flight bag is causing stutters, huge stutters. So today the new Service Pack 6 beta, actually it was yesterday evening, was released for Flight Simulator 2024, but I'm still using Service Pack 5.1. I often don't jump in on the betas because they create more problems than fix things at the beginning, and because they advise you to remove all modules from your community folder and just, I don't want to do that. It's not like I don't care for new stuff and fixes, but I'm not a beta tester for Microsoft, so let them do it. Right, so time for us to jump out of the seat here, bed seat. You have control. And we now have seated passengers, which is nice. They often disappear during my flights, previous flights. We have the table here for their accommodation. That's very weird, bro. Also, they said they... Wait a minute, these aren't flight seats. What, you guys took off from there? There's not even a seatbelt sign. Seatbelts here. Alright. So apparently other people complain about the clones, like these people sitting here, they're all look-alike. And it looks like, yeah, they managed to get some diversity in. At least they don't look like clones anymore. Well, maybe these two ladies here. Same hair, just different faces. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like it was. The Lou's still not modeled. Look at that, nice wheels. The Lou's still not modeled. A lot of things are still to be modeled. I'm not sure if they are ever going to be modeled. Let me put this back here so you don't get that screen on your chest. None of these open, of course. We've been through this in the last few flights. These don't open. This one doesn't open, but you do get these drawers to open. So, yeah. I think the plan was to make most of these things interactive, but you know, these guys need to focus on what's really important, what's essential for the flight actually. Not sure that the bathroom will ever be modeled, but one can hope. I asked them if it was planned, but they never got back to me to answer it. Not because they were hiding, they're just, I mean, it's one guy developing this, so it's quite busy with development and fixing bugs and all that. During the last few days, they released a lot of fixes and different betas, and I participated in them, gave them some feedback, just like a lot of other people. It's not exclusive to me. And hopefully, once they fix all that, they can start adding extra stuff. So how about you, Trixie? Would you like to do a round the world trip? Flying, of course. You will notice that the horizontal stabilizer is angled slightly to lower the nose. That's because this plane is very tail heavy, as you can imagine, with 3 engines in the back. So the trim will always be set slightly forward up, so that those can lower and they can cruise. Now this is a pretty picture right here. Beautiful picture. Of course, the weather is helping. This heat blur effect here. These engines are outputting a lot more power than that. It looks like a stove, an open stove kind of heat blur. This should be like a straight line or a blurry line. I guess this effect is broken because I've seen the very same weird effect on other aircraft. So our current ETA is 2121, because I think we have some nose wind. Yep, there it is. So it might take us a little longer than expected, but don't worry, I'm going to time accelerate anytime now. So halfway point will be when we reach this bay here. By the way, our alternate is Nice, which is nice. Get it? Nice, nice. Yeah, comedy is my thing, sorry. Well, Drexy, maybe one day you can do it yourself. My first around the world trip was in the 777, and I did about 3 legs, but I did broadcast it, of course. It was way back. I don't know if it was already the PMDG 777. I just know that it was a 777 and I did a round the world trip. The only thing I accomplished with that was boring sessions, including at night. You might think it's fun to do a round the world trip in long legs, but it's not. It's just hours and hours looking at instruments. That's why I want to do short legs, shorter, legs, not short legs. If I was to do short legs, it would take forever. Depending on the plane, it would take forever. Now, I want to do it during August as fast and as, you know, conclusive as I can do it. So we're now going to Marseille Center. So with SP 5.1, I'm starting to see a lot of these glitches. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like pieces of terrain that are above the cloud layer. At least this is what I think it is. But over distance, it's just like black blobs. Or maybe it's just elevation. How Strata is injecting elevation. It's not. It's popping up above the clouds, but it does look weird. And I've seen this in a lot of different areas around the world. Not sure who to blame here. So again, this is not a PMDG aircraft. You can see the big PMDG logo beneath the belly. But it is a real-life plane. If you guys search PMDG Falcon 50, you will find this very same airplane. Registration November 33612. It's registered to Captain, I think his name is Randazzo. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But he is a captain. Used to be, I think he still is a captain, Boeing captain, but it does fly the Falcon 50 as well, and he registered to PMDG, which is the company. Why not? That tells you that he's proud of his company. So I think it's frozen. Again, with the sun hitting it, this looks green to me.
For Edelweiss 91 Mike.
I guess it might be the yellow sun color that's making the green effect. Maybe. Look at these contrails. These are Tritrisim GSX. We can see here it is working right now. Although the plane's not supported currently, it still can create the contrails and all that. Even though it's not going to support this plane directly. So effects like compensation on the nacelles and all those nice visual effects, contrails on the wingtips and all that, it will create contrails from the engines, hoping that Tritrisim can update the program soon to include this aircraft as well. That would be strong. Alright guys, I'm going to make a short break here on my side. Carry on, of course. Feel free to ask me any question. I'll try to answer you as best as I can, but for now, I'm going to fly to Bordeaux, cruise speed, on the way to Corfu. So guys, I just noticed that I've made a mistake on our destination. We're not going to Corfu. Oh my god, we're going to Corsica, not Corfu. What am I thinking? It's Corfu. It's not Corfu, it's Corsica. Let me correct that on the progress bar. There you go. Should be corrected. I'll edit the video title as well. My bad. I don't know what I was thinking. It's Corsica, not Corsica. video description is updated. I just need to update the thumbnail, but I can't do that right now during the flight. I might mess up the frame rate. I know what happened. There's a new scenery for Corfu that was just released last week. And when I wanted to say Corsica, I ended up saying Corfu. I'm sorry if anybody feels insulted with the mix-up, but not my intention. But the flight is to Corsica, out of Bordeaux to Corsica, that's for sure. I will update the thumbnail once we are done. Right, so we're now at 200 nautical miles from our approach plate. We're going to need the approach plate to be approach clearance to be given before that, of course. As you can see, I've noticed this plane has a tendency of doing this. I'm still doing it even after all the updates they've done. The commanded airspeed is somewhere above, probably near to 300 knots, like 380 knots, something like that, or maybe less than that, but it's never able to get there. Now the reason for that can be because of the strong nose winds we got right now. We got 20 knots coming from the left nose hole, but it has something to do with performance. Now, is it connected to the fact that we did update this panel here upon takeoff? Maybe, but one of the final waypoints is vRAAS. You can see here we're at 60 nautical miles from it. So we're about to get our clearance to descend. And today I'm hoping that we get the RNAV from the bay. Because usually when I do this flight, they always give me the RNAV from north. And that's not, I mean, it's a beautiful approach, but it's not as beautiful as coming from the bay. What are you thinking, Benson? You're sending us through the mountains or through the bay? One day she'll talk with me, but not today. It's also noticeable that I never get the correct, well, I do get the correct flight. What I mean is that I don't get a higher altitude than this in all flights I've done with the Falcon to this date. Maybe I'm just picking short routes and the plane needs to burn a lot more fuel to get up there, but maybe that's it. Maybe this is the average altitudes, 33,000, 35,000, no more than that. Whereas when we flew with the Citation X, we were close to 50,000 feet. That was crazy. I need to get back to the Citation X as well. I'm not including it in my around the world trip because I want to focus mainly on airliners, and I wanted to just include one business jet for range. And I picked the Sovereign Plus. It has a bigger range. So I'll not fly this or the Embraer because of range issues. The Citation X was part of my choice at some point, but I had two business jets already in the routing, and said, now let's just do one, because mainly because of operations and validation. the fact that I want to fly commercial jets more than I want to fly business jets. So I decided just one business jet, and the Sovereign is the obvious choice. It's also easier to use than the Citation X in terms of avionics. Because yes, this has to be pleasant. It doesn't need to be challenging all the time. It also has to be pleasant. And imagine you're flying around the world, so no rush. You don't need a fast plane like the Citation X. So the cabin line is bleeding into the cockpit apparently. Wonder if we can adjust that. Yeah, these lines are bleeding in. Actually, no, it's actually the sunlight is bleeding into the cabin. I don't know, it doesn't look. Is it the sun though? I mean, it's reflecting off the panels here. Yeah, it's definitely the sun reflecting there, but is it what's reflecting on Betsy's back? Oops, looks like it. That's nice. Instrument shield. This light here. Center and side. Instruments. There. I would like to have a darker. So it's Rumus 3 Sierra arrival.
Clear Rumors 30, runway 1802, exit Papa Mike 50.
So it looks like we're going southbound. Yay. Runway 02. Probably ILS Zulu. We'll see. And select. There's the approach. There it is. It's Ruba 3 Sierra. What can I choose my approach here? Oh, there it is. Oh, there's another exec jet. Nice. It's our company. This exec jet is the call sign for NetJets. That's the one we're flying today. So we're taking the PMDG Falcon via NetJets. We just rented it. So you can now see the approach here. We're going through south and turn left, which is a much easier approach than the one from the north, because in the north you have a very steep turn and you're going through some lower mountains, and you only have RNAV for that. And it's an RNP-AR, which this plane I think can fall ish, but it's not capable of doing a precise RNP, of course, given its age. So I always prefer to come to the south because the approach is much prettier. Still can't get my head over that I called Corsica Corfu. I heard that the course, so the inhabitants of Corsica are very have a very strong personality, let's just say it that way. So I hope they don't get mad at me for mixing up, or the guys at Corfu. So Corfu is in Greece. let's look at the digital 80s. For Ajaccio, so we got wind calm, that's nice, KVOC, so two nice things. Temperature 26, dew point 23, quite humid. QNH 1017, so arrival runway 02, departure runway 20, that's odd, alright. And the transition level is 050, so we got all the info we need. So just gonna send QNH 1017, well we can't, because this one doesn't have HPA, but we'll get there. 1017 with the Papa. Oh, sorry, that's my track IR. So I'm going to try to reduce the glare inside the cockpit. Let's see if I can make it. Just like this glare here. A little bit better. So when you're flying at night, it's preferable to lower your visual pollution here in the cockpit so you have a better sight outside, but also because you want your eyes to get used to the external light. So if anything bright in here will, of course, harm your eyesight. Your visual acuity. Let's see if I can do much about that. So let's go pick up our ILS for. Our arrival here, blue bus, very straightforward, we'll get to it in a moment. This is the airport info, and what I need now is the ILS, so back to the airport here. So, ILS Zulu. Zoom in on this page for some reason. These digits are just too small, but I want to see the decision height, and I can't. I'm just going to pin these two. I'm also going to get the RP just in case. And they're both the zooms. Alright, so. ILS cleared. I really don't know how to navigate this freaking map, to be honest. Really don't. So, give me the minimums. Alright, so we are Bravo type, and we are going to get minimums at 1105. That looks high. So let's decision. There's no way to turn this to MDA, so I'm set this to decision height to 200 feet. I really don't know how to set MDA here. It's my bad. Corsica in sight. We're going to make a right-hand turn and then a left-hand turn towards the runway. We're currently flying more or less towards the runway area. It's in on the bay, so probably over here. We're not going to fly straight in. Why aren't we descending? We're way too high.
Canadian Master Control, Exeter 131 Sierra Flight Level 273. Exeter 131 Sierra Master Control identified.
Let's do it the hard way. Really don't know what the descent button does if it's not going to get us to the altitude that we are wanting. We may need to make a compensation turn here. Because I was really confident we were descending. It's your job to warn me, Betsy. She doesn't care. So we're gonna make a right-hand turn if we're still too high. I will try to compensate a little further. What are you doing? Instead of cutting power, it just keeps accelerating like crazy. I don't get this.
Marseille Control DZ53 Juliet Delta, passing flight level 336, climbing to flight level 350.
Now we're higher than we were when we started descending. Come on. This is illogical. We're definitely going to need to turn now. So we were commanding vertical speed. The plane of course started accelerating a little bit, but it had auto throttle commanded. But for some reason it kept the throttle in and started nosing up to decelerate. Doesn't make sense, just cut the power. I guess this auto throttle isn't as good as advertised. Alright, we're going to select our heading here. Extend our turn there. Give us some time to descend faster. The airport's right there. Ajaccio. The airport is right in the city. Village. Still too high. plane is very good at speed braking, so don't worry about overspeeding on the descent. Just nose the plane down. If you need to, you can deploy your spoilers. We're still very high. Papa wanted. Let's tune in the frequencies. Oh my god. 110.3, I think. It's hard to read this. It's gonna stutter, but just undoable. So I think it's 110.3. It is tuned. 110.3, and the course should be 022. So now we are at DTK, so we don't have that for now, but we will need 022 on that course. Let's be back in. Look at that rate, descending like a rocket. about to switch to nav mode so we can capture ILS. There's the runway right there. So let's ease in on the descent rate. Stop descending. Stop descending. What are you doing? Let's get the spoilers out. So we can start clearing let's get our edges, our source to ILS. There we go. Don't descend. Alright, so it's 20 to descend. Speed check slides. This is the tram, by the way. It's very noisy, I know. Approach mode. Localizer intercepted. Flaps 20. Corsica. Climbing a little bit because for some reason it just wants to go down. I don't understand this plane's attitude sometimes. Get down. Let's get back to that approach. Autopilot.
Contact tower 118.075, accepted Papa Mike 50, bye-bye. Ajaccio tower, accepted Papa Mike 50, ILS 2, approach runway 02. Runway 02 clear to land, accepted Papa Mike 50.
losing the localizer. Keeps losing the localizer. It's not even trying to follow it. There's a light slope. So why aren't you engaging? See? It doesn't engage. Alright. Autopilot. Very weird on the approach here. It's like it's ignoring the autopilot, so it's ignoring the ILS. And now the flight director is ignoring light slope. It's oversensitive. That's the problem. But this is something that you have good visibility to the runway. Now imagine if we didn't. The path indicated by the flight director here. What doesn't check?
Too fast. Too fast.
Why? No, I'm not. Not at all. Not at all.
Approaching 0, 2.
Just trying to follow light slope. Check. Crosswind from the right.
Unstable. Unstable.
Yeah, second time I get this with vRAAS. I'm a little low, but I'm not that unstable. Look at the poppy lights. Two white, two red, so not that unstable. Brake supply.
900 meters remaining.
Exit left of hotel, exit Papa Mike 50.
Reverse in. Clear flaps. Welcome to Ajaccio. Or Corsica. Now it's GSX giving me a hard time. So we are to go through Charlie, Delta, then Tango to gate H1 or ramp H1. So we are currently in Charlie. Very dark airport. Let's turn left to Delta. Was looking forward to this approach, but not with autopilot doing its own thing. Gonna start our APU here. It's occupied, so we will take the one right next to it. No big deal. Why would the RTC give me an occupied facility? I don't know. Assignments on Ajaccio seem worked. Change facility. The one right next to me, which is gate 2. Alright. Don't follow me. Necessary. And let's go behind north. Nothing there. Let's go. Ah, it's sideways. There's a guy. It's like London City tracks. What? You were just guiding me, dude.
You need to stop the engines to request ground
Alright.
services.
Let's set the parking brakes.
You need to stop the engines to request ground services.
I know. Take it easy. Let's hit the dome line. Set outside off. Got the APU running. Set it to there. Everything's fine and peachy. Let's turn off engine 1, 3, 2. Looks good. Let's call ground services to report.
Reporting requested.
Alright, this zooming in and out, look, now it's working. How stupid is this? Why can't you zoom in and out anytime? It only zoom in and out when it wants to. I don't know what this purple thing is. There's definitely something not working correctly here, and I honestly don't know what it is. So now let's get our APU connected. Not that at all. Oh, this is bugged. Main door, chunks, back, external power connector. That's good. Let's leave these on. We can turn off the interface and the videos. Alright. Yeah, you guys can walk to your gate. I don't care. Welcome to Ajaccio. Yes, it's not Corfu. Sorry about that. But here we are at this beautiful island of Corsica. We can turn off our APU now because we have external power. This was the Contrail Falcon 50 in the beautiful PMDG colors. I hope you guys enjoyed this flight. It was a very finicky down at the approach. I did make a very steep descent, but the plane continues to have what appears to be some VNAV problems. Of course, it could also be me not doing things correctly, I'll admit. But at the same time, when we were in approach mode, the plane just refused to intercept glide slope as it should. So for that reason, what percentage of throttle do I use on cruising? That depends. If I want, it really depends on winds and all that. But most of the times, if in these types of planes, if you get 80%, you're doing fine. You don't need to go much further than that. But if you want to get closer to your performance for cruise, then you need to make some calculations, and it depends on the plane. Olá, Ângelo. Olá, Dinis. Bem-vindos aos dois. Mesmo no fim. Yeah, that's it. Just make your calculations for it, and it will be fine. This is Ajaccio in Corsica, not Corfu, my bad. The video will be updated with the correct destination. I apologize for that. This was the Contrail F-50, Falcon 50. Like I was saying, the plane does have some, what's this? The plane does have some issues with VNAV. It's not correct 100%. And during my ILS approach, the interception was just too narrow. The plane does need to have some maneuvering to get there, and if you miss it, you miss it. But at the same time, I couldn't help but think that maybe it could be a little more tolerable. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, guys, if you like what you saw, just leave a like, subscribe. You can also donate via Buy Me Coffee. There's a link in the description. It always helps. Like this plane right here, everything that is sent by donations, I reinvest in future add-ons. Guys, I've just set up my around the world trip coming soon, probably in August. We'll see. Hope you guys can also be there and be with me during those flights. I'll prepare the flight plans and the aircraft in the near future and show you guys what I'm thinking about. In the meantime, really appreciate your company. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Mirsha. Thank you, Drexy. Thank you, Dinesh, Angelo, and everybody that's been watching. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. If it's too hot in your time zone as it is in Portugal right now, I bet you're melting. But, you know, bad things come and bad things go. It's only your attitude that sticks around, so be positive. Even though the sun's hot, cold nights, enjoy the cold night, the cold summer nights. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.
The clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light.
All aircraft be advised, information Romeo now current QNH 1017.
The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drums beat. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the